I'm sure we all know Coffeezilla. If you don't by now, you got to be living under a rock. But he recently went on a podcast. I think it's Moist Critical's podcast. And near the end, put out some crazy things that have happened to him recently from his new series on Logan Paul, where a billionaire who is just simply mentioned in those videos was starting to like threaten him or get someone else to threaten him and make wild kind of moves on him. And it's kind of crazy that a YouTuber talking about another YouTuber all of a sudden gets a billionaire involved who doesn't like the video that just simply mentions him.
Have you ever felt like your life has ever been in danger because of an investigation you've been conducting or because of what you've uncovered?
Bro, let me tell you something that happened to me literally in the last 2 weeks that's crazy. I think I don't know if I mentioned it to Charlie, just like behind the scenes, but all right, never normally, but a situation cropped up with this Logan Paul thing. So I haven't talked about this publicly yet. This will be the first time. Basically, in my story, in my CryptoZoo story, there was this billionaire that I mentioned. I mentioned multiple billionaires, but I won't mention which one. But like, I mentioned one of them, and it was very brief. It was like, hey, something happened with this billionaire, sort of related to CryptoZoo. They weren't a big part of the story. After that, I get contacted by this basically billionaire crisis manager for this guy who is extremely upset that I made this video, these claims in my video, even though they were backed up by evidence, and decides that, and proceeds to tell me that they work for Russian oligarchs, Saudis, and billionaires, and that literally that what they said is, I'm the last call.
So that is crazy that a YouTube video led to all this happening, to a guy who I guess works for a billionaire, or somehow have a relation with him, comes and calls Coffeezilla and says that they work for Russian oligarchs and for the Saudis, and that he is the last person that they call. And it is just, it's so crazy that a YouTuber could get this situation to kick off, especially in a video that was about Logan Paul and had a small part of a billionaire. I don't know who the billionaire is. I can't find, what he's talking about, unless it's like the Eddie Ibanez thing, like tricking billionaires or something. But it just is crazy that this all led to this. And Coffeezill goes on to say that this guy wanted to meet up with him in real life, because whatever he had or whatever he was going to say, he couldn't simply say it over the phone, that he had to fly to Coffeezilla to tell him something.
You've come up on my radar. This is an exploding situation. Like, this is like a ticking time bomb. And I need to get this like settled. Basically, you got some facts wrong. And I was like, well, what facts? And they refused to tell me. They go, I won't tell you. I have secret documents on my hard drive, which I need to fly to see you. I can't tell you over the phone. I cannot tell you over a call. I need to go to your city. And they name the city I live in. And so I bought first class flights to your city, and I'm coming to meet with you.
That's a pretty big sketchy thing, right? Some random guy calling you up saying he has a relation with a billionaire that you just mentioned briefly in a video, saying that he has to come meet up with you and cannot tell you it over the phone. That is a really weird situation. And if this is how this guy or billionaire or whatever his network is reacts to just simply being mentioned in a video, I can't imagine what he would do if Coffeezilla ended up making a video about this guy, or someone else, maybe a different YouTuber who is of similar size. I'm assuming if it's like a smaller YouTuber, like this guy wouldn't even know it exists. But if he has a video made on him, if he's, how he would react then, because merely being mentioned makes him jump to this kind of like action. I can't even imagine what he would do with a full-blown video about him. And you might be thinking that this is just simply some random guy. Maybe he got Coffeezilla's number somehow and is doing a prank on him, calling him, pretending to be somebody and making these empty threats. Maybe it's someone who doesn't like Coffeezilla, wants to scare him from making videos. Who knows? But Coffeezilla says that he ended up looking into this guy and saying that what he was saying was true.
Dude, if you work for Russian oligarchs, and if you work for Saudis, I mean, I looked up their history. It does seem to be like true that they work for bad people.
Oh, okay, they're legit.
I'm like, holy, like, so I ended up.
I was guessing it was like a crazy homeless man that had just gotten your number or something.
No,
so it sounds like
this
more of a
is
scam.
this is a real person, real
Wow.
credentials. And I basically, last minute, they're like getting on the flight and I canceled on them. And I was like, actually, this is a bad idea. I'm not doing this. No way. Because I was literally, I was like freaked out for my life. I was going to have to bring like a, you know, like try to hire personal security, but I don't know any personal security. So I was going to like hire my buddy from high school, which like, what is he going to do? Nothing.
It is a good thing Coffeezilla didn't go through with meeting this guy. That's such a weird thing to say that you have to fly over and you can't talk about anything over the phone. And you've already said that, you know, they don't really like Coffeezilla because he mentioned them in a video. So it's a good thing he ultimately backed out, didn't mention him or didn't talk to him or didn't meet up with him. It's definitely wasn't the best idea to go through with that, because YouTube and the internet and just in general, we need people like Coffeezilla, someone who's going to do this investigative work, journalism work, stick to the facts, present the facts, and try and expose things that aren't necessarily the greatest things going on, and just make sure people know what's going on. Because as the old saying goes, sunlight is the best disinfectant, so bringing attention to something is the best way to stop it from happening or stop a bad thing going on, or just make sure everyone knows just kind of what's going on. We need people who aren't corruptible, and that seems to be what Coffeezilla kind of strives to be like. He doesn't take sponsorships on his channel. He stays away from things that would prevent him from talking on certain subjects, and he actually talks about how this guy might have been kind of attempting to bribe him with some sort of something, money, or, you know, some sort of supplies or something, to probably get him to cover this guy favorably or stop talking about this guy. And a lot of YouTubers would probably take that bribe. A lot of YouTubers would probably sit back and say, sure, I'll take whatever money. It's probably a big sum of money, and I won't make a video about you, and they're going to move on to the next day. But they wouldn't obviously be able to cover anything that happens in that type of sphere, and that would be an issue. If someone's trying to expose something and you can't talk about it, you know, what's the point?
The weird thing is too, like that kind of was this weird implication. I don't know if this was bait or something. They said like we did have a over the phone call where they said like we can't share this information, but they did say something to the effect of, you know, basically, I don't know if you even have the resources to tell this news story we want to give you. Like, we want to give you this news story as a part of how you messed everything up. So as a part of giving you this news story, I don't even know if you have the resources to do this story justice. So maybe you need some help. Maybe you don't have the resources. Maybe you need some help with those resources. I didn't know if that was like their attempt at a bribe, because I was like I was just like, no, I think I'm good, you know. But I think maybe
no,
that was
you should have been like, no, I don't have the resources. I need $10 million.
Yeah.
You know, if this was an attempt at a bribe and Coffeezill turned it down, I don't think there's a lot of YouTubers that would do that. You know, if someone was offering millions of dollars, a lot of people would probably say, absolutely, I need help. You can send the money over, and they'll never talk about this person ever again and simply keep the money and just move on with their day. So, you know, it's important that people like Coffeezill are here who refuse to take these things and cover the stories that a lot of other people either won't cover or are paid off not to cover, because otherwise we're all just living blind. So hopefully Coffeezilla stays safe. His work is great. He's definitely needed on the internet, and is a great person to have around with great content he puts out. So hopefully nothing happens to Coffeezilla, because we don't want to see that. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.